Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Leeds have just crashed out of the Carabao Cup 2-0 to Arsenal at the Emirates. Let's start with the positives. Adam Forshaw came into the team and looked a lot better than he did the other day when he came on, where I said that he kept losing the ball and wasn't really up to match speed. He looked a lot better tonight. He retained the ball. He did come off after 45 minutes, but like I say, he did look better than he has in recent games, so it's just getting him that match sharpness. We created plenty of chances in the first half. It was, to me, almost a carbon copy of what happened a couple of years ago when we played them in the FA Cup, I think it was, and it was Mellier's debut that day. We were brilliant in the first half, looked like scoring, never put a chance away, and then we were punished for it at the end, which is what happened today, really. In the first half, we were definitely on top. We had more of the ball, we had more chances, and we were just looked more creative, more dangerous in general. The second half came in and we just sort of, we didn't capitulate at first. We were still sort of in the game at 0-0, and they just started to get a bit more possession behind them. And then when Ben White got injured, Callum Chambers came on straight away and scored that header, which obviously very unlucky because it was just saved off the line, but it was just one of those where we just need to learn to get the ball away. Just get it away. I mean, I don't know what we were doing. We just couldn't get it out, basically, and eventually it ended up going in. So that one, it's not the end of the world, but it could have been defended better. The second one, oh my God. Now, I don't know why Cooper does this to himself, because he played really, really well at the weekend, and everybody said what a good game he had against Adama Traore, who obviously, as you all know, is not an easy opponent to play against, and he was all over him, and Adama Traore was probably suffocating in Cooper's back pocket at the weekend. Having said that, Cooper then came on today, and I don't know what he was doing. Drama headed a ball back to him, and he was sideways, so he could have gone either way with his header, and he decided to try and flick it on towards Meslier, but there was no way he was going to get enough purchase on the ball, and Eddie Nketiah was able to chip it over Meslier and then get it on the other side and eventually score what almost fluffed lines. But it doesn't excuse the fact of what Cooper did there. And I know it's the Carabao Cup, and it's not something that we should just talk about forever and blame him for forever, but I just want to highlight it. It was horrendous, and the collective groan from Leeds fans all around the world when that happened was almost audible in my living room. I felt the pain, because stuff like that, it's just not... When you're playing quite well and you're in the game and you're looking to try and get an equaliser, something like that just completely takes the wind out of you, and there's not much chance of you coming back after that. I did think to myself, actually, and I was on the verge of tweeting it, when it was 1-0, which isn't the most bold prediction in the world, but I was going to say it's either going to be 1-1 or 2-0. There's not going to be any more goals than that, and there wasn't going to be just no goals till the end of the game after it was 1-0. It had to go one way or the other, and unfortunately it went to Arsenal in the end. Yeah, two bad goals really to concede from our point of view, but in the end it is only the Carabao Cup. We can take a bit of sort of confidence that we've got some young players coming through that are absolutely brilliant. I thought Drama had a really good game. I think the only time he got beaten was towards the end of the first half, when Martinelli was able to take it past him. But other than that, I thought he was really, really good. He was sharp, he was to every ball, he was hard in his tackling, he was strong, and although at times he did look a little bit panicked, most of the time he managed to keep possession, and it's only his debut at 19 years old, so you could probably expect big things from him. Obviously, probably behind Ayling and Shackleton, but with Ayling injured and Shackleton getting a rest, he got his start tonight, his debut at the Emirates, and I thought he gave a very, very good account of himself. Joffrey wasn't able to get into the game too much until the end, where he had that little drop of the shoulder and whacked it just past the post, but the signs are there for his low centre of gravity, drop of the shoulder. But a lot of people have compared him to Rooney, and on Match of the Day, actually, Martin Keown said it was Messi-esque what he did against Wolves at the weekend. I don't think it was he was calling him Messi or comparing him to Messi, but I get what he means. It's the Tevez, Messi, Aguero, Rooney mould of quite short, low centre of gravity, and good at dropping the shoulder and just getting your body between players and drawing fouls as well. So he saw a little glint of that at the end, but he wasn't able to get into the game too much, really. I thought a few players were... Rodrigo was hit and miss, probably as usual, would be fair to say, because he did come into the game and he did sort of flick balls around corners and try and create stuff, but then he also was responsible for a couple of their counter-attacks where he just gave them the ball straight away, and it was just one of them where you're like, oh no, not again. And I had a few moments in that match where it wasn't just Rodrigo, other players as well. I know Roberts did it as well. I don't want to jump on the we all hate Roberts bandwagon, but he did it a couple of times. I think Dallas might have done it as well. And they just give the ball away in a silly position and it just completely goes the other way. The only thing I do need to talk about as well is a few people said that I was being very negative when I said about the price for Dan James. And in that video, I talked about his end product. Now, I think he's been good for us so far, and I think his lightning pace is really, really helpful in our pressing, and I think it causes defenders to panic a bit when you see him flying at you. Having said that, I think it still rings true what I said about him not having that end product. There was a moment where he was running through the centre of the pitch, and he was bearing down on the defence. One side he has Rodrigo and the other side he has Dallas, and Dallas has got a man with him. Rodrigo's got a man with him but a bit further away, and Rodrigo obviously is the natural striker of the ball. He goes with Dallas, the ball goes past him and the counter-attack dies. That split-second decision making, he just needs to improve that. And obviously I don't want him to do badly, I want him to do well, but that decision making I think has to improve when it comes to things like that, because if he'd have played that into Rodrigo, that could have been 1-0 when we were actually bossing the game really in the first half. And then the only other one was where Llorente played one long ball over the top. It dropped in at Dan James's feet, and his touch was just too heavy, and you just wanted him to bring that down and poke it through the keeper's legs, but his touch was just too heavy, and then when he did try and poke it, Leno was already out there. So yeah, unfortunate for Dan James today. I think he could have had a goal and assist really if things had gone a little bit better for him. But he just needs to try and improve that first touch and that finish and just the decision making in the final third. Jack Harrison I think was a bit better than he was against Wolves, but he's still not 100%. I think he's just sort of coming back from being away for a little bit. So hopefully we see the best of him on Saturday against Norwich, because I don't think that Rafinha will be back. I will actually do a full match preview of that Norwich game, so if you want to check that out, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to be notified whenever I upload. So that should be coming out on probably Friday. So if you like this video, like the video, like I've said, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching Leeds Lately.